The story of Akhenaten and Amarna is where history, art, and mysticism intersect. His religious reforms, unusual family appearance, and even the possibility of extraterrestrial lineage make ancient Egypt far more mysterious than we imagine. What are your thoughts on Akhenaten's disappearance and the alien theories? Share your ideas in the comments and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with friends to explore more unsolved mysteries of ancient civilizations.
Do you know about Amarna? That place in Egypt where, in 1891, Italian archaeologist Alessandro Barsanti went to dig Akhenaten's tomb, but he couldn't find the mummy. What do you think happened?
This is indeed one of the most puzzling mysteries in Egyptian history. Akhenaten, the pharaoh who broke tradition and promoted monotheism, holds a unique place in history. Scholars at the time believed he should have been buried at the Amarna site, symbolically continuing his religious reforms. However, when archaeologists dug deeper, they were shocked to discover that his actual tomb was missing. No remains could be found. This raises the question, was he never buried there at all? Or was his body secretly moved or erased from history? This unresolved mystery not only challenges the historical record of the Egyptian royal family but also adds an even greater layer of intrigue to Akhenaten's life than his reforms themselves.
But he only reigned for 17 years, how could it be so mysterious?
Akhenaten's reign is one of the most extraordinary chapters in Egyptian history. He boldly broke with millennia of tradition, abandoned polytheism, and enforced worship of the sun god Aten alone, becoming one of the earliest rulers in history to practice monotheism. He even relocated the capital, leaving Thebes to establish a new city called Akhetaten, meaning horizon of Aten. According to legend, he once saw a divine light between two mountains, and that revelation inspired the construction of this city. This was not just a religious reform, it was a complete upheaval of royal authority, faith, and governance.
You mean the light he saw wasn't necessarily just the sun? Could it have been an extraterrestrial craft?
Exactly. This is one of the most fascinating mysteries about Akhenaten. Some scholars even suggest that his bold religious reforms and decision to relocate the capital may have been motivated by something far beyond the understanding of humans at that time. According to legend, he witnessed a divine light between two mountains. This wasn't just a symbol of faith, but possibly a supernatural phenomenon, perhaps even evidence of extraterrestrial contact. Some theories propose that the light Akhenaten saw could have come from an unidentified flying object or advanced alien technology, and that his worship of the sun god Aten might have been a misinterpretation or deification of a higher civilization. While controversial if true, Akhenaten may not only have been a religious reformer but possibly the first contactee in history. His unusual actions and distinctive physical appearance have also fueled speculation of a non-human lineage.
So he really was different from other pharaohs?
Yes. Akhenaten's appearance was completely unlike other Egyptian pharaohs. His skull was unusually elongated, his abdomen protruded, his chest was sunken, and his arms were long and slender. His overall physique even displayed androgynous characteristics. These atypical features puzzled archaeologists and sparked wild speculation. Was he even human? Some scholars have gone so far as to suggest that Akhenaten might have had extraterrestrial genes, or could have been a hybrid descendant of an interstellar visitor and a human. His family, including the famous Tutankhamun, also displayed similar skeletal anomalies. These traits were exaggerated in contemporary art, not as artistic mistakes but likely as accurate representations. If these theories are correct, the sun god Aten he worshipped could have actually represented a higher intelligence from the stars.
But couldn't it just be artistic stylization?
That's certainly possible, but it's worth considering. Elongated skulls like Akhenaten's are not unique to Egypt. Similar skulls have been found in Peru, Paracas, and Malta in the Mediterranean, among other regions. What's particularly striking is that some of these skulls lack the characteristic cranial sutures of humans, These sutures are natural structures necessary for skull growth during infancy, and a normal human skull would always have them. This abnormality cannot be explained simply as cranial deformation, artificial elongation, and instead inspires a more daring theory. These skulls may belong to an intelligent species coexisting with humans of unknown origin or possibly even from an extraterrestrial civilization.
Wow, what about the Great Sphinx of Giza? In 1925, a French engineer named Bars excavated the entire Sphinx, not just its head.
Of course, that was a breathtaking moment. The Great Sphinx, sitting majestically on the Giza Plateau, is the largest monolithic statue on Earth, standing 60 feet tall and stretching 240 feet long, facing east as if it has watched over the rising sun for millennia. It lies just half a mile from the three pyramids, forming one of ancient Egypt's most enigmatic geometric alignments. Imagine early 19th century explorers unearthing this colossal statue from the sand with little knowledge of Egyptian civilization. The awe and sense of smallness they felt standing at its base are almost impossible to describe. What they saw was more than stone, it was a civilization's memory, buried under desert sands for thousands of years.
But what was it actually for?
That's precisely what makes the Sphinx so intriguing. Mainstream scholars generally believe it was built around 2500 BCE during Pharaoh Khafre's reign, symbolizing the union of kingship and the sun god. Yet centuries later, Pharaoh Thutmose IV had a mysterious connection with the statue. Records say that while hunting near Giza as a young man, he fell asleep in front of the Sphinx and dreamed it whispered to him, "If you clear the sand from my body, you will become Pharaoh of Egypt." Upon waking, he did exactly that, excavated the statue buried by the desert, and miraculously ascended the throne, becoming one of Egypt's rulers. He even erected the dream stele between the Sphinx's paws to record this oracle. This story is not only a fascinating anecdote in Egyptian history but also raises questions. Did the Sphinx possess some power beyond human comprehension, capable of predicting fate and influencing political outcomes? Was it mere coincidence, political manipulation, or a genuine interaction with ancient wisdom encoded in stone? The mystery remains unresolved.
So the Sphinx might have been a sentient, or at least intelligent, presence, capable of affecting history.
Exactly, that's what makes it even more mysterious. Some believe the Sphinx is more than a statue. It could conceal ancient technology, perhaps even a device from an extraterrestrial civilization. The most intriguing feature is the so-called Eye of God on its forehead, a structure now destroyed. Some speculate it may have been an energy receptor or interstellar navigation instrument, designed to guide the development of Egyptian civilization in a specific direction. Even more fascinating is that Thutmose IV, who dreamed of the Sphinx, was the grandfather of the controversial pharaoh Akhenaten. Akhenaten spent his life overturning traditional beliefs, enforcing sun worship, and establishing the enigmatic city of Amarna, seemingly carrying forward the mission foretold in his grandfather's dream.
So this connects Akhenaten with alien technology.
Akhenaten's appearance was like a lightning strike in Egyptian history. He was not just a religious reformer. He completely transformed the way art and culture were expressed. Under his rule, Egyptians abandoned the polytheistic system that had persisted for millennia, worshipping only the sun god Aten, a revolutionary shift in thought at the time. Yet what shocks later generations even more are the unusual depictions he left behind. Elongated, prominent skulls, rounded bellies, sunken chests, slender limbs, and exaggerated chins, entirely unlike the godlike images of previous pharaohs. Do these artworks represent a symbolic change in style, or do they reflect his actual physical traits? Scholars have yet to reach a consensus. Some suggest these features could indicate a medical condition, while bolder theories speculate that he may have possessed extraordinary genes, or might not have been entirely of earthly origin.
Was his wife, Nefertiti, like that too?
Akhenaten's mystery didn't stop with him. His children with Queen Nefertiti also displayed the same unusual traits. From murals and reliefs, we can see that these royal children had elongated skulls, slender limbs, and distinctive physiques, completely deviating from traditional Egyptian aesthetic standards. This cross-generational non-human characteristic has led some researchers to propose a shocking hypothesis. The Akhenaten family might have been a hybrid of extraterrestrials and humans. Their bodies, minds, and religious ideas were all out of step with their contemporaries, even carrying a kind of prophetic mission. In particular, Akhenaten's worship of the sole sun god Aten is thought to closely align with the sun energy worship systems of ancient alien civilizations.
Did the Egyptians themselves know about this? Didn't they find it strange?
In ancient Egyptian culture, pharaohs were regarded as incarnations of the gods holding supreme divine status. No matter how unusual a pharaoh's appearance, the people still revered and worshipped them. This belief in divinity far outweighed the influence of outward appearance. Akhenaten leveraged this system of faith, claiming to be a direct descendant of the sun god Aten, thereby consolidating his rule. The entire nation firmly believed he possessed a sacred bloodline, granting him absolute authority and divine mission. Akhenaten's reforms were not only a bold religious innovation but also a way to use the aura of divinity to establish himself as an unchallengeable ruler. This deification of the individual meant that even with his unconventional appearance, the people still regarded him as a true god.
So why did he forbid the worship of multiple gods and only believe in Aten?
According to legend, Akhenaten was once visited by a mysterious being descending from the sky, who said to him, "I am your god." This god was Aten, the embodiment of the sun. Aten's appearance was unique and awe-inspiring. A massive disk of light hovered in the sky, with rays extending like arms toward the earth, symbolizing divine energy and the gift of life. This mystical encounter profoundly influenced Akhenaten's faith and rule. He completely abandoned traditional polytheism, devoted himself to Aten, and initiated a religious revolution, establishing a monotheistic worship centered entirely on the sun god.
So Akhenaten might truly have been inspired by some extraterrestrial intelligence to build Amarna, and to reform art and religion.
Exactly. The art style of Amarna was entirely unprecedented, and the unusual appearance of Akhenaten and his family was astonishing. Their elongated skulls, protruding abdomens, and sunken chests were completely different from traditional Egyptian pharaohs, seemingly hinting at an extraordinary lineage. Some scholars speculate that these unusual forms may not be purely human traits but evidence of alien genes mixed with ancient Egyptian bloodlines. Amarna-era art displayed an unprecedented realism and detail, yet also exuded a supernatural quality, prompting speculation about mysterious extraterrestrial influence on ancient Egypt.
So Egyptian mummies and mythology could also be connected to aliens.
The mummification process was extremely meticulous. From removing internal organs and drying the body with natron, to cleansing it with oils and wrapping it with protective amulets, every step was filled with ritual significance. It was not only to preserve the body but also to ensure the soul could reunite with the body and pass safely into the afterlife. Intriguingly, the god overseeing all of this, Anubis, has a distinctive appearance, a human body with the head of a jackal or dog, unlike traditional deities. Some scholars speculate that Anubis may not be purely mythological, but a representation of ancient extraterrestrial beings who interacted with humans, manifesting as gods to teach them advanced preservation and soul transition techniques.
So Anubis might not be an ordinary god, but some kind of extraterrestrial agent.
The murals in ancient Egyptian temples are filled with mysterious images symbolizing transformation and transcendence. These artworks not only reflect religious beliefs but also hint at a spiritual evolution beyond the physical body. Some scholars theorize that the core teachings of ancient Egypt actually describe the transformation of the human soul, from mortal life to becoming an interstellar entity, entering a higher cosmic dimension. The murals depict intricate interactions between deities and humans, symbolizing the soul's liberation through sacred rituals, breaking free from bodily constraints and uniting with cosmic forces. the ancient Egyptians may have already possessed a form of supernatural wisdom, viewing death not as an end but as a gateway to the stars.
In other words, the earliest wisdom the Egyptians learned might have come from the stars.
Pharaohs in ancient Egypt were regarded as sons of gods, embodying sacred and inviolable authority. As a result, traditional art always portrayed them as flawless, idealized embodiments of divinity and majesty. Akhenaten, however, broke this tradition. His portraits display unique and unusual traits: elongated skulls, protruding abdomens, and sunken chests, completely different from the traditional perfection of pharaohs. This striking difference not only reflected his attempt to overturn established beliefs and social structures but also fueled speculation that he may have possessed alien genes.
During his reign, did Akhenaten truly believe he was a god?
Akhenaten not only believed he was divine, but he also made the entire nation believe it. He was seen as the representative and embodiment of a god, and this sacred identity gave him unparalleled authority and confidence, becoming a powerful driving force for his bold religious reforms. Because people believed in his divinity, he could abandon traditional polytheism, enforce the exclusive worship of the sun god Aten, and establish the entirely new capital of Amarna.
What exactly did his religious reforms entail?
Akhenaten's religious reforms were unprecedented. He strictly prohibited the worship of all previous deities and promoted the sun god Aten, a representation of the sky's disk, emitting rays like arms reaching down to the earth. He commanded that all official art, statues, and murals depict his sacred connection with Aten, emphasizing that the pharaoh was Aten's sole representative and embodiment.
So did the people accept these reforms?
Akhenaten's religious reforms caused a huge upheaval at the time, and the populace initially found it difficult to accept such a radically new belief system. However, in ancient Egyptian society, the pharaoh was seen as the embodiment of a god, and his decrees were absolute and unquestionable. People had no choice but to comply. Although he was controversial during his lifetime, and even considered a heretic by some, Akhenaten's mysterious charisma and strong personal will left a profound imprint on history.
What about after his death? Since his mummy hasn't been found, could he have been taken by some extraterrestrial force?
The mysterious disappearance of Akhenaten has sparked countless theories and legends throughout history. One theory suggests that he did not die naturally but was secretly removed, or even taken back to some extraterrestrial civilization. While there is no solid evidence to support this idea, Akhenaten's unique, enigmatic persona and sudden disappearance certainly fuel the imagination.
So, was Akhenaten's impact on Egyptian civilization positive or negative?
Akhenaten was a highly controversial pharaoh. His reforms caused tremendous upheaval but also opened a new chapter in Egyptian culture. As the architect of a religious revolution, he abandoned the traditional polytheistic system and promoted the worship of the sun god Aten, fundamentally changing the core of Egyptian religion. Beyond religion, he introduced unprecedented innovation in art and city planning, breaking the conventional symbols of kingship and creating a radically different royal image.
So if we look at Akhenaten's statues, his elongated skull and protruding belly might reflect his real appearance rather than artistic exaggeration.
Akhenaten's image has always been a focal point of historical mystery. Unlike the solemn, majestic appearance of traditional pharaohs, he had an elongated skull and unusual physique. Some scholars have even suggested that his peculiar features may hint at partial extraterrestrial lineage. While this idea is highly controversial, it has sparked widespread discussion and imagination. Some believe that Akhenaten's distinctive appearance not only reflects his unconventional ruling philosophy but may also reveal a connection to mysterious, possibly supernatural, forces.
What about Nefertiti? Could she also be of alien hybrid lineage?
Akhenaten's wife, Nefertiti, as well as their children, displayed similarly distinctive features, elongated skulls and unusual body shapes. These extraordinary physical traits further support some scholars' hypotheses that they may have had extraterrestrial ancestry. According to this view, Akhenaten's family were not purely earthborn humans but a hybrid lineage bridging interstellar civilizations.
Wow, this whole story is even more fascinating than science fiction.
Exactly. History and mythology intertwine, and the mysteries of ancient Egypt combined with the alien theories give us a whole new space for imagining the origins of civilization. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, share, and leave your thoughts in the comments. See you next episode.